In this video, I'm going to give you an entire breakdown of my client Phil's 65-pound fat loss transformation, and I'm going to give you an entire breakdown of his initial consultation, the steps I implemented into his program to guide him along the path of losing 65 pounds, eating more food than he started. So we're going to break down every step of the process, his entire transformation, and then his entire transformation from going 285 pounds to where he was at just yesterday at 221, right? So if you guys don't know by now, my name's Adam. I'm an online fitness professional. I help men lose body fat, get unstuck from fat loss plateaus, and lose a crap ton of body fat and get extremely lean using higher level forms of nutrition and higher level forms of metabolism manipulation called metabolic priming. So I've worked with over 60 guys in just the past 6 months and implementing my metabolic priming blueprint on higher level forms of nutrition strategies. I've helped 60 guys get to the leanest body fat percentage they've ever been, and cumulatively have helped these guys lose an enormous amount of body fat just in the last 6 months. So we're going to break down the entire progress of Phil's transformation, my initial consultation with him, his calories week by week, and then how I was able to get his body to burn more calories, eating more food, and transform his body into a 65-pound transformation. So before I get this video started, there's going to be 3 asset links listed for you in the description of this video. The first one is going to be my metabolic priming masterclass. It's going to be a video on how to lose body fat using metabolic priming. It's going to be a video explaining who I am, what I do, how I do what I do, and the higher level form of metabolism manipulation called metabolic priming, and that will be listed in the description below. Below that, there's going to be my free metabolic priming masterclass, which is going to have a ton of videos on higher level nutrition for you guys. So make sure to subscribe to this channel because I'm constantly updating that. And there's going to be all my client transformations, all my client testimonials below that as well. And the last link in the description is going to be an application for you to work with me one-on-one if you need help, if you are stuck in a fat loss plateau, you just can't lose weight, or you don't know where to start. Fill out the application. Don't wait. I'll break down where you're at, where you're trying to be, what's stopping you from getting there, and if I think that I can help you, I will implement my process of metabolism manipulation and help you lose an enormous amount of body fat and get the leanest you've ever been. So we're getting right into this video. So me and Phil started working together, and this is what Phil looked like when we started working together, right? 285 pounds. So in his initial consultation, his current stats were 6'2", 285, eating 2,100 calories per day. Currently eating out every single day, eating pizza per day, eating about $1,200 per month. Had tried to lose weight before, but every time he would try, he would see no progress and give up. So what I knew is that we needed to direct him to a healthier diet with a clear protein, carb, and fats goal and work him up into caloric maintenance while increasing his metabolism. So it's extremely important that we needed to, 1, nail Phil's macronutrients. Really nail Phil's macronutrients to give his body the correct hormonal support to lose the 65 pounds that he lost, right? So we needed to basically align his body in the correct direction with his hormones to allow his body to lose a significant amount of body fat first, right? So nailing his macronutrients with his protein goal, which has a higher thermic effect, nailing his fat goal, which would not only mitigate hormone levels, regulate hormone levels, but also improve digestion, but also making sure that we added carbohydrates in there to not only increase his metabolism, increase his muscle tissue through his customized training program that I built him, but we needed to really hyper-focus on training because we wanted to increase muscle tissue so his metabolism would grow over time, and so we could increase his metabolism by adding good muscle structure. So in my initial consultation, said we need to decrease a ton of inflammation in his body, lower his fats to improve digestion, and start to focus on building muscle to increase metabolism. So we want to start him off at 2,500 calories a day in the metabolic priming phase, right? So, Phil started out with me at 285 pounds. Phil just sent this picture to me yesterday, all right? Absolutely crazy transformation. But this is not an accident. I use the same process with every single one of my clients. We nail the macronutrients, we improve the hormones, we make sure to improve digestion at the very top level, and we really start working on increasing your metabolism through strength training, increasing muscle tissue, and raising your BMR, right? So if you guys want to know a little bit more about metabolism, that link in the video below, how to lose body fat using metabolic priming, will give you an entire breakdown on how the metabolism works. But the purpose of this video is to break down Phil's entire transformation, entire fat loss transformation from going 285 pounds to 220 pounds, and we're going to do exactly just that. So make sure to stick around for this entire video because I'm going to break down every step of the process. But before we get right into it, I want you guys to hear from Phil himself. So me and Phil a couple weeks ago did a client testimonial on my YouTube channel. You guys can more than welcome to go see the entirety of that video, but I have a quick clip from it that I'm going to play so you guys can hear from Phil himself. Pounds is literally insane, dude. Like absolutely nuts. What, you were up eating almost like what, 1,600 more calories and you were down like, I don't know, like 40 pounds.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. So like if I would have told you like when we started, like, hey, like you're gonna be eating 1,600 more calories and you're gonna lose 40 pounds, what would you have thought?
First kind of gave me the plan. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I was like, how am I supposed to eat more food and lose weight? And then, dude, like by week 3 or 4, I was like already down like 10 pounds. I was like, okay, this is working. So we're going to keep doing it. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that's safe to say that it's changed my life. I mean, not only, do I look better and I feel better, but also, it's changed my mentality and my discipline of eating and not overeating and just everything. My work has been easier for me. I've been more successful, et cetera. So it's legitimately changed my life. Yeah.
So as you can see that, Phil went through an amazing, incredible transformation from one, not knowing how to track macronutrients because he knew how to track calories. Tracking calories is relatively easy. What is hard is having the scientific knowledge of what you should eat, protein, carbs, fats wise, to optimize energy levels, to optimize hormone levels, to optimize building good muscle tissue, and in turn building good, metabolic structure within your BMR, right? So I knew right off the bat that we had to give Phil structure. We had to give him structure in the form of making sure that he had daily goals to hit, making sure that he had a clear goal on how to hit protein, carbs, and fats, and really get consistent with hitting protein, carbs, and fats. Because what can be tracked can be improved. And as we started to streamline that through the week, Phil started to lose weight extremely fast, right? So he nailed his macronutrients. Think about it as like you nailing the macronutrients on the bullseye. When you nail your macronutrients based upon your specific person, height, weight, age, job description, what you do for a living, how active you are, change happens really fast, right? So we gave Phil a good body recomposition, and we started him off right at 2,500 calories, right? So I can kind of pull up the side-by-side of where we started him at. So we started him at 2,500 calories, and we started to increase his food, right? So we started him off at 250 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbs, and 60 grams of fat. And we started to slowly raise him from there. So I know you guys are thinking, like, why would you start raising him in the first place, if he's already, technically overweight? Well, we needed to, first of all, increase his muscle tissue, right? Increasing muscle tissue will give you not only a higher metabolism, because muscle tissue scientifically takes 8 calories to sustain versus body fat, which takes 2 calories to sustain. So the more muscle tissue that he has, his body's able to absorb more energy, and that muscle is able to, absorb more glucose into the muscles and not put as much off in the form of body fat, which increases your metabolism, right? Because having a higher muscle tissue amount gives you a higher metabolism. So we paired this with his own strength training program, right? We customized it to his height, age, weight, goals, what he wanted to build in the gym, and we give him his own specific training program. And we started to really focus on hitting that program and pairing that with correct macronutrients and building in the process, right? So as you can see, Phil went on a straight streamline from 280 and just went all the way down to 220. There was never a point where he regressed at all. He consistently went down, right? And you can even see, right here where he's at right now at 221. But we started him out at 2,600 calories, right? So I'm going to be pairing this with his body stats that we tracked him at. So as you can see, we started him at 2,500 calories, and we started to slowly raise his food over time. On the 16th, we would give him 25 more grams of carbs. We would wait for his body to adjust and to adapt to the new caloric amount and to absorb the current caloric amount and get his BMR to raise to burn this food a little bit more. And over time, we started to raise it. On 16, 15 more grams of protein, 25 more grams of carbs, 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 10 grams of protein. And as you can see within his actual photos, he just started to really, really, really lean out, right? And this, keep in mind, this is eating more food, right? Nailing macronutrients and actually eating more food, right? So over the course of time, we raise his calories all the way to 3,600 calories, right? 3,600 calories on 2/12. So as we compare this with his, the actual stats with it, we can kind of put this on the graph, right? So in retrospect, what Phil was eating was 2,100 calories, low in protein, high in fat. They didn't really have a structured goal, because if you're trying to track calories, you're trying to track macronutrients without a goal, you're trying to hit a target you can never see, right? So we wanted to give him certain goals so that he can focus on, right? So each week, as he started to, lean out, right, we started him at 2,100 calories. We cut his cardio to 0. And what we wanted to do specifically was really, really increase muscle tissue, right? And increase BMR, right? So as time went on, as you can see, we would slowly raise his calories from 20 to 2,600. So we would start him off at 2,100, and we start him off at 25. Keep in mind, he's doing no cardio. And then we put him at 27. And then we put him at 28. And over the course of time, we slowly worked his body into burning more food and building more muscle tissue. All right. So on the 2/12, he was eating 3,600 calories per day, right? And now, at this point, since he had not only gained good muscle tissue in the process on, as you can see right here, this was on 3,600 calories per day on 2/12, right? So notice the changes that his body made by simply adding more food, adding more carbohydrates, and stimulating his BMR to burn more calories, right? Absolutely crazy transformation, right? At this point, Phil is already down a significant amount of weight, right? And we can even go back to his weight right here, and we can see back on this 2/12, he was at 248, right? So on 2/12, he was at 248, right here, 248. So he had already lost 40 pounds eating 1,500 more calories per day. So as time went on, so now that we get his calories up, his BMR has increased over time, and we were able to raise his metabolic structure for Phil over the course of time. His BMR is now as high as it's ever been. He's eating more calories than he even started. And now we primed his body for a great fat loss phase, right? So going into the fat loss phase for Phil, as you can see, we started to lower food and slowly raise cardio, right? So we started him off at 4 days of cardio per week, and we started to slowly lower those back down. So on 2/12, we started lowering the food intake and increasing cardio. So now that he's right here on his BMR, we started lowering his calories from 3,600 down, right? So as you can say, we start them at 3,400, and then we do 33, and then we do 32, and then we do 3,000, and we would add some cardio in there as well. So the cardio started to go up in this as well. And keep in mind, his BMR is still intact up here, right? And so over the course of time, we started to lower it even more. But the last time we changed food with him was 6/3. So he's currently eating 2,500 calories per day, but now he is down 65 pounds. So keep in mind that Phil started off with me eating 2,500 calories per day, right? We worked his body up in a metabolic priming phase, got his body to build good muscle tissue, pairing it with his strength program, but also increase his BMR, right? And over the course of time, increasing his BMR had led him to lose 40 pounds, right? But now that we got leverage in the form of calories and no cardio and a high BMR, we can put Phil back into a fat loss phase and actually start lowering his calories, right? So where people go very wrong with losing fat is they try way too soon to cut calories. The body is a lot smarter than you are. You need to prep the body for a fat loss phase. You need to prep the body to be ready to lose fat. Because if you don't, you're just working against an organism that is 10 times smarter than you are, right? So now Phil is doing 35 minutes of cardio today. He's doing 10K steps a day. So we pair that with 10K steps so that we can add in low intensity cardio, because remember, we're trying to mitigate cortisol levels in the body, mitigate stress levels in the body, and also mitigate inflammation in the body. So we do that by, one, pairing cardio with a low intensity cardio, right? Low intensity cardio is like steps. So we give him a step goal per day per hit. We give him high intensity cardio, which is 35 minutes of incline treadmill. And then we slowly start working his calories back down, and we start increasing his cardio very slowly, lowering his calories very slowly, and utilizing steps as a form of low intensity cardio to keep losing weight, right? So the last time we actually changed calories with Phil was on 6/3, but he has lost another 5 pounds just in the last 20 days without even raising any cardio, without even lowering any food, and he's due to lose another 20 pounds here within the next 2 months because we still have enough leverage to work with. His BMR is still high. We have enough cardio to work with. We have more calories to work with if we need to lower it down, and his body is just shredding off body fat now because we prepared his body, we prepared his metabolism, we used his hormones to our advantage to stimulate not only fat loss, stimulate muscle growth as well, and transform Phil's body into a 65-pound transformation, eating 1,500 more calories a day. But not only that, he's eating the same amount now today than when he started with me, right? So instead of starting Phil off at 2,100 calories, where he was currently at when in his initial consultation, and going to 2,000, going to 1,900, going to 1,800, what we did was we prepared the body for fat loss, increased his metabolism by increasing muscle tissue, increased his hormone levels by nailing macronutrients on the dot, and started to work him up and prepare his body for a fat loss phase, but he lost 40 pounds in the process. Now that he lost 40 pounds, now we can hyper-focus on lowering the food back slowly and losing another 50, right? So Phil right here is due for a 100-pound transformation, and this is why metabolic priming, high-level forms of nutrition and metabolism manipulation that I specialize in is the most predictable way to lose body fat. Not only the most predictable, but the most sustainable as well. Why? Because Phil's not hungry. He's not starving. He's not below 2,000 calories. He's not using some fad diet like keto or intermittent fasting. He's nailing the macronutrients that his body needs to maintain hormone levels, to create good energy imbalances, to grow good muscle tissue, but also lose a crap ton of body fat in the process without going under 2,000 calories. He's at 2,500 calories and he's down 65 pounds, right? So that's not why it's not only the most sustainable, because Phil can sustain this. He's not highly restricting himself, but it is the most predictable because we catch the metabolism up in the metabolic priming phase, prep the body for fat loss, and then rip the body fat off. So that is the entire transformation of how I help my client Phil lose 65 pounds of body fat over the course of time working with me, and we're not done just yet. There's going to be another client case study when Phil hits the 100-pound mark, so get ready for that. But, if you have made it this far in this video and you are struggling to lose weight, you've tried keto, you've tried intermittent fasting, you've tried other diets that haven't worked, or like Phil, you've tried before and you simply just failed. Make sure to sign up for a time down below. We'll sit down together. We'll see what's stopping you from, losing the weight, and I'll see that if I can help. If I'm 100% confident that I can, I will build you out some higher level strategy, show you look like to partner up, and show you what the program will look like for you. I'll help nail your macronutrients. I'll help prime your body, prep your hormones, and absolutely crush some body fat. So if that sounds like you and you're serious about it, go ahead and apply below. But that's the end of today's video. I appreciate you guys for watching.